Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. We need more houses available for sale in order to cool off this red hot housing market. And I honestly feel like a broken record here because almost every single week I report how we have record low housing inventory. Maybe those days are numbered though, because I have some encouraging news to share in today's video that will help increase the number of houses available for sale in the coming months. No, I'm not referring to a flood of foreclosures that are coming. I'm actually talking about some very encouraging news that home developers have started to ramp up their home construction of brand new houses. To catch you up to speed, housing starts, which is the beginning phase of the construction of a brand new house, absolutely fell off a cliff towards the beginning of this pandemic. However, last summer they increased greatly as home buyer interest surged. However, to many people's surprise, and despite that home buyer demand was extremely strong, housing starts actually decreased in January and February this year. For example, they decreased in February by 10.3% to their slowest pace since last August. This was a huge blow to our housing market because we were in desperate need of more houses available for sale in order to meet this extremely high home buyer demand. However, I have good news to share because the US Census Bureau reported last Friday that housing starts increased 19.4% in March from the previous month, and that was the fastest pace since June 2006. This was also well above expectations of a 14% increase. In addition, according to the US Census Bureau, housing starts absolutely surged a whopping 37% when you compare it to 1 year ago. However, on a regional level across the United States, the numbers vary drastically. So let me share this with you. So for single-family houses, the Northeast had a 29% increase. The Midwest skyrocketed 109%. And the South increased by only 11%. However, the West decreased by 13% compared with the previous month. Overall, the increase of housing starts in the US is very positive news, given that we need approximately 2.4 million homes to be listed for sale right now in order to have a more balanced real estate market between buyers and sellers. And by the way, if you're getting any value out of this video so far, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that because it helps support the channel, and videos like these tend to take hours to make. So I greatly appreciate your support. All right, thank you so much for doing that, and let's go ahead and dive right back into the video. So the chairman for the National Association of Home Builders had a really good quote here that I wanted to share with you today. He said, "Builder confidence remains strong, pointing to gains for single-family construction in 2021. However, rising costs for most kinds of building materials continue to impede positive additional momentum in the marketplace." Builder confidence does remain at levels that were higher before this pandemic begun, but as you can see on this graphic from the National Association of Home Builders, their housing market index, or the HMI, has been on a more or less downward trajectory over the past few months. The chairman of the association stated the following: "Despite strong buyer traffic, builders continue to face challenges to add much needed housing supply to the market. The supply chain for residential construction is tight, particularly regarding the cost and availability of lumber, appliances, and other building materials." So I looked up lumber future contract prices for you guys, and here's what I found. So as you can see here, we currently are way above any price levels that we've ever seen before. In this year alone, lumber prices have increased about 50%, and we're currently at record highs. This in turn is costing home builders approximately $24,000 more per single family home. And guess who pays for that in the end? Home buyers. However, another positive trend that I noticed from this US Census Bureau's report is that permits pulled actually increased as well. Pulling permits is obviously one of the first steps before the construction phase of a brand new house. So an increase of permits should translate into more housing starts, which should also translate into more completed houses. In any case, I noticed that permits pulled in March actually increased 2.7% compared to February, but they surged a whopping 30.2% from March 2020. In addition, the number of new houses completed also surged 16.6% from the previous month. This is all very encouraging news, right? Because we have an increase of permits pulled and an increase of housing starts in March. And this is the exact opposite of what we saw in February. However, we shouldn't see this influx of brand new houses available for sale for months now. This is because housing starts to housing completion could be 4 to 8 months depending on the weather and availability of construction materials. The demand for new houses continues to increase because I noticed that the Mortgage Bankers Association posted a few days ago that mortgage applications for new homes increased 12% last month when compared to February 2021. They also increased 7% from 1 year ago. Joel Kahn of the Mortgage Bankers Association stated the following: with home price appreciation remaining elevated in many markets, the average loan size for a new home purchase reached $374,000 in March, the highest in their survey. As home prices increase, so does the loan size in many cases. If you missed my video from yesterday, I reported that home prices in California on average reached a new record high, and they beat the previous record high by $40,000. For example, the new median home price in California reached $760,000 in March, and the previous record was $718,000 that was set in December last year. In any case, going back to this report from the Mortgage Bankers Association, for those who are interested in what type of loans home buyers are using for new homes, 70.9% of loan applications were for conventional loans, 14.8% were for FHA loans, 4.4% were USDA loans, and 9.9% were for VA loans. Part of the demand for new houses right now, of course, stems from low interest rates, but also a thin level of inventory in the resale market. All right, speaking of interest rates, let me give you a quick mortgage interest rate update. Freddie Mac posted that the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 3.04% for their most recent survey. A year ago at this time, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 3.31%. Freddie Mac's chief economist Sam Cater stated the following: mortgage rates took another dip this week as a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage decreased by almost 10 basis points week over week, and that is 0.1%. The economy is improving on the demand side, and on the supply side, a variety of goods and materials remain scarce. As a result of this imbalance, pricing pressures are building and causing inflation to rise. Despite the pause in mortgage rates recently, we expect them to increase modestly for the remainder of the year. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our housing market. You also can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. Hope you have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.